Hello and welcome to 8-3 Writing Two-Step Equations. We'll also be solving some of the two-step equations we'll be making. First, start off with this little problem. You want to attend a 2-week robotics day camp this summer that costs $700. Whoops, too large. Your parents have agreed to pay the deposit of $400 if you pay the rest in weekly payments of $15. Okay. We will eventually be writing and solving an equation to find the number of payments you'll have to make. Okay, that's what we'll eventually do. First, let's look at this table. This table probably will make sense to you. If you don't pay anything at all, zero payments, your parents pay $400, you pay $15 per payment, but for zero payments. So you don't pay at all, even though you're supposed to pay $15 a week. It's basically after 0 weeks. We could put weeks here also. So far only $400 has been paid. If you 1 week later make one payment of $15, your parents already made $400 just the one time, and you make one $15 payment, $415. After 2 payments or 2 weeks, your parents still have only paid the $400, and you pay 2 payments of $15 apiece, so $430. And you can continue this pattern and hopefully notice that these numbers here are the only ones that are varying. That's why it's going to be a variable in that spot. So after W weeks, you can write an equation here stating that your parents pay $400 plus $15 for every week that you pay equals the total amount that you have to pay for. Now it costs $700. That's the total, right? So instead of T, I'm going to put $700. So that's writing an equation. And then solving it, we have already learned about that last section, so I'm not going to go over that right now. But we'll be learning mostly how to write equations today. In order to do that, to help us, I've made this big table full of basically keywords that you're going to need to know. Let's start here. Addition words are things like sum or total. Even if the word total isn't there and it implies a total, or even I would say final amount. That would also kind of mean a total. The phrase more than, notice how it has a star. That means you're going to flip-flop the numbers around it. We'll go over that in a moment. Increased by, longer than, or a one-time fee. One-time fees can also be subtracted depending on how they're used. Shorter than should actually have a star next to it, because shorter than, we're going to flip-flop the order of the words or numbers. Shorter than, decreased by, less than, again we'll flip-flop, that's why it has the star and difference. Multiplication times, twice means specifically times by 2, triple means specifically times by 3. Product each per, or even the slash, which means per, for every, or anything that's repeated, like for instance this weekly payment, that would be repeated. Oops, sorry. That's repeated. So division, the quotient isn't the only word, but probably the only word we're going to use. We can always add to this list later. And equals sign, because equals 2 is an important one, and results in. We'll see those quite often today, maybe some others. So I'm going to go kind of quickly. Pause the video whenever you need, repeat it whenever you need. First, we'll look at some problems that they already have done for us. 8 less than 3 times the number is negative 23. Is the equal sign. Notice how it's got the negative 23 right there. It should make sense. And here it says 8 less than 3 times a number. The less than means subtraction. I'm pretty sure 99.9% of you will get that. But what a bunch you will forget, unless you make it a habit to try to remember it, is that you need to flip-flop the order of the numbers around it. So instead of 8 minus something, it's something minus 8. In this case, that something is 3 times the number, or 3 times n. 13 is 7 more than twice the number. 13 is, that's the equal sign. 7 more than, well, there's the 13 first, sorry, let's not jump the gun. There's the 13, put the 13, the equal sign. 7 more than, so this more than is going to be that plus sign there, but we need to flip-flop the numbers. Why are we doing that, you might ask? Well, it's because you have maybe forgotten that there's a few words here, or phrases, that we know what they mean, whether it's addition or subtraction, but we need to flip-flop the order. So 7 more than twice the number means it's going to be twice a number, which is 2n. That's twice a number. And then plus 7. Number 3, the quotient of a number in 4 decreased by 1 is equal to 5. So is equal to, that's right there, and then there's the 5. Okay. The quotient of a number and 4 means you're going to take some number and divide it by 4. Usually we put it in fraction form, not using the division sign usually. And then decreased by 1. You can see those right there. What I'm doing, in case you didn't notice, is I'm first finding the equal sign, then I'm identifying key words. So 15 equals 3 more than 6 times the number. So equals 15 equals 3 more than, there's more than, I know it's going to be adding, but that's more than, so you need to flip-flop it. Basically the word than, you're flip-flopping things. 3 more than 6 times a number. So 15 equals 6x plus 3 is our answer. No, it doesn't matter which variable you use, x, y, z, a, b, c, it doesn't matter. If 10 is decreased by the quotient of a number and 6, the result is 5. The result is 5. 10 is increased by the quotient of a number and 6. Quotient of a number and 6. That's it. 10 plus n over 6 equals 5. The difference between 12 and twice the number is 18. The difference, subtraction, the difference between 12 and twice the number, 12 and twice the number is 18. There we go. Suppose the current temperature is 54 degrees. If it is expected to rise 2 degrees Fahrenheit each hour for the next several hours, in how many hours will the temperature be 78 degrees Fahrenheit? Okay, 78 degrees Fahrenheit, that's like our total. 78 degrees is where things end up at. 54 is where they start at, so it's 54, and it's rising 2 degrees each hour. So rising 2 degrees for each hour, that's multiplication. How do I know that? You could refer back to this table that has multiplication. Oh yeah, what do you know? Each. So I need to solve this also. Minus 54, 2h equals 24 divided by 2 divided by 2. So h is going to equal 12 hours. The perimeter of a rectangle is 40 inches. The width is 8 inches shorter than the length. Write and solve an equation to find the dimensions of the rectangle. Draw a really quick rectangle here. There's the width and the length, and there's another width and another length. And you add them all up and you get the perimeter. So the perimeter essentially is equal to the length plus the width plus the width. All 4 sides added up. Well, we know the perimeter is 40. So plug that in right there, equals, but then it tells us the width is 8 inches shorter. So you write and solve an equation. The width is 8 inches shorter than the length. So the width is 8 inches shorter than the length. So instead of the width, for W, you could put L minus 8. Because the width is 8 inches shorter than the length. And that helps us because then we don't have another variable. We just have L's. We'll just have the L plus L that's already there, plus, but instead of width, I'm going to put L minus 8, plus, but instead of another width, L minus 8. So I've got this big long equation, and I'll solve it. 40 equals, there's 1, 2, 3, 4L, so 4L, and then minus 8, that's a minus 16. Then I need to figure out how long the length is, add 16, 56 equals 4L divided by 4, L equals, that should be 14. The length should be 14 inches. And the width is the length minus 8. So the width is 14 minus 8. So the width is 6 inches. So there's your answers for that one. Translate these. 1 more than 3 times the number is 7. So 1 more than 3 times the number, 1 more than 3 times the number is 7. 7 less than 3 times the number is negative 1. 7 less than, I'm going to use less than, so it's minus 7. Twice a number, 2n, 2x, 2a, whatever. The quotient of a number and 5 less 10 is 3. Is 3. It says the quotient of a number and 5, so like n over 5. Less 10 just means minus 10. It doesn't say less than 10, it just says less 10. So there's that one. For number 4 and 5, I'll just show you the equation and then what the answer is so I can make sure to get to the homework. You already owe $432 in overdue rental fees and are returning a movie that's 4 days late. Now you owe $648. How much is a daily fine for an overdue book? Okay. So the total is $648. You owe $648 now. It started off at $432. Plus you were late for 4 days. So 4 times F, the fee. So that's your equation. 432 plus 4 times F equals 648. And then we find out that the fee is equal to 54 cents per day. That's what the daily fee is. Number 5. Marty paid $121 for shoes and clothes. He paid $45 more for clothes than he did for shoes. So maybe a picture would help. He paid that much for clothes, but shoes he didn't pay as much. There's shoes. But then together, they add up to be $121. So the total is $121. Okay. He paid $45 more for clothes than he did for shoes. So he bought clothes and shoes, and they equaled $121. We can't have two variables, we can only have one. That's why they tell us there's $45 more for clothes than shoes. So clothes, it's the shoe amount plus $45, and then plus the actual shoes equals 121. So this ends up being 2s plus 45 equals 121, and we end up getting the shoes equals $45. Oops, sorry, $38. So there's your lesson for today. Homework, page 429, 6 through 21. So it starts here at 6 all the way through 21. So on to the next page, I believe it is, all the way to 21. Make sure you do these. If you have a question, you should ask. That's why you're doing this probably in class, maybe finishing it up at home. The key is that you should get something down so that when you go to your teacher to ask for help, your teacher knows what you've already done correctly. So you have a starting place. If you come with nothing, your teacher can't help you very much other than repeat what you learned in this video already. So try it first. Come with an answer, and then ask for help if you need to. That's about it. Good luck on your homework.